Giants from beyond our world, the Anunnaki are not your typical little green aliens. These beings are bilateral, bipedal hominids that look remarkably like us because we share their DNA. Emerging from the Pleiadian star system, they brought advanced knowledge and technology to Earth, shaping civilizations and leaving their mark in ancient texts. Billy Carson breaks down the Anunnaki civilization, revealing how they influenced our history and evolution. What secrets did they impart to humanity, and how do these revelations challenge our understanding of history? Watch till the end to discover. Let's dive into the world of the Anunnaki, those intriguing beings from beyond our world. The Anunnaki are not the stereotypical aliens with green skin and antennae. Instead, they're bilateral, bipedal hominids who look remarkably similar to us. Imagine slicing one in half. Not literally, of course. You'd find two forward-facing eyes, two arms, two legs. They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like us. The fascinating part is that we look like them because we have their DNA in our bodies. These beings were originally part of a spacefaring race from the Pleiadian star system, known for the cluster of stars called the Seven Sisters. You can see 6 of these stars with the naked eye in the night sky. Ancient texts and tablets speak of an epic galactic war in this star system, a conflict so massive that it inspired much of the lore in Star Wars. They had destructive weapons capable of annihilating entire planets, causing chaos and creating what Carson calls space refugees. These space refugees had to flee their home planet, seeking refuge across the universe. Carson mentions that this information comes from ancient Indian texts like the Mahabharata and the Bhagavad Gita, which are about 5,000 years old. He also references the Terra Papers, an ancient indigenous American text that corroborates these stories. The Terra Papers read like a Star Wars movie, minus the love stories. They talk about people fleeing galactic wars and looking for new planets, including Earth. This journey led to the creation of breakaway civilizations on Earth. These refugees were not just from one star system, but from various regions like Orion, Aldebaran, and Sirius. When they arrived on Earth, they became what we now know as the Anunnaki. It's essential to understand that Anunnaki is not a term for one race. Instead, it's a collective term for those who came from heaven to Earth. In Africa, they're called the Nuru, which means the same thing, gods who came from heaven and transformed mud into kingdoms. One of the most famous civilizations that the Anunnaki built is Atlantis. The myth of Atlantis, as told by Plato and other ancient texts, describes a highly advanced civilization. Plato's account is relatively recent compared to other ancient records, but it describes a ringed city, which was just one of many capitals around the globe. According to Carson, these advanced cities existed on every continent, and we are standing on the remnants of Atlantis today. In the Americas, for example, there were thousands of pyramids. Many of these ancient structures were destroyed or repurposed by later civilizations, including the Catholic Church, which built churches on top of these pyramids. The Catholic Church's role in this history is complex and controversial. During the Inquisitions, they went around the world, killing and torturing millions to convert them to Christianity. This violent spread of religion also involved the destruction of ancient civilization structures and knowledge. Carson explains that these acts were part of a larger agenda to impose their will on the people and eradicate previous civilization signs. The Church's Inquisitions were about more than just conversion, they were about control. They combined pagan and Christian systems to unify people under their rule, using holidays and rituals from both traditions. This merging helped them gain taxes and offerings, solidifying their power and influence. One of the most striking aspects of this history is the sheer number of pyramids and ancient structures that have been hidden or destroyed. For example, in Mexico City, many old churches are built on top of what were once pyramids. When you visit these sites, you can see the layers of history, with churches sitting atop these ancient ruins. The grass grows over these pyramids, making them look like natural hills, but they are remnants of the once great civilizations built by the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki's arrival on Earth didn't find Homo sapiens, but rather Homo erectus, our ancient cousins. These beings were more spiritually intelligent, and the Anunnaki saw potential in them. They decided to genetically modify Homo erectus, combining their DNA with these hominids to create modern humans. This genetic manipulation was primarily to create a labor force capable of bearing the workload, particularly in gold mining. The story of Adam's calendar in South Africa is a significant part of this narrative. It's considered one of the oldest gold mines where humans, under the Anunnaki's supervision, toiled. The working class of the Anunnaki, known as the Igigi, initially stationed on Mars, revolted due to the harsh conditions and lack of women. They descended to Earth, demanding better conditions, which led to the creation of a new workforce, us. This genetic modification suggests that our origins are not entirely terrestrial, but a blend of Earth-based and extraterrestrial genetics. This concept challenges our understanding of human evolution, suggesting a deeper cosmic connection. The Anunnaki didn't just create us, they also imparted advanced knowledge and technology, establishing civilizations far more advanced than we often credit ancient societies. The Anunnaki's influence is seen in various ancient texts and artifacts. The Enuma Elish, the Epic of Atrahasis, and the Code of Hammurabi all reference these beings. Even the Bible, with its stories of gods and demigods, contains echoes of this ancient past. These texts suggest that the gods interacting with humans were, in fact, the Anunnaki. In the ancient world of the Anunnaki, labor was a significant issue. The Igigi, a working class of the Anunnaki, revolted against their oppressive conditions. They felt overworked and complained about the lack of women. This complaint, interestingly, is documented in ancient tablets. Enki, one of the Anunnaki leaders, proposed a groundbreaking solution. Instead of creating robots, which had failed disastrously on their home planet, they decided to genetically modify an existing species on Earth. This was the birth of modern humans. The Anunnaki found an existing species, Homo erectus, on Earth. By adding their genetic essence to these beings, they created humans capable of bearing the laborious tasks. This genetic modification wasn't just a simple tweak, it was a profound transformation. The result was a new species that could handle the workload the Igigi had previously borne. This process of creating humans to serve as laborers brings up an intriguing aspect of ancient civilizations: offerings. Humans were not only laborers, but also providers of sustenance for the Anunnaki. They brought their best harvests and fresh calves as offerings, which were, in essence, the Anunnaki's food. This practice is echoed in various biblical texts where offerings were made to the gods. These offerings were stored in temple storehouses, and priests often spoke from hidden chambers to give the impression of gods communicating with the people. An archaeologist in Egypt explained how ancient people would line up for miles to bring their best offerings to the head god. The god, or rather the priests posing as gods, would store these offerings in large storehouses within the temples. The priests used acoustics within the temples to amplify their voices, creating an illusion of divine presence. This elaborate system ensured a steady supply of food and resources for the Anunnaki, who, according to some accounts, enjoyed barbecuing their meals. The idea that the Anunnaki consumed these offerings rather than relying on the energy of sacrifices adds a tangible aspect to their presence. They were not just spiritual beings, but physical entities with needs similar to humans. Moving from the past to more speculative areas, there's a theory about Jesus being part alien. This theory suggests that Jesus was trying to liberate humans from the control of these extraterrestrial beings. Jesus, seen as a reincarnation of a highly advanced being, might have been using his powers to bring enlightenment and freedom to humanity. This theory aligns with texts like the Apocrypha, which mention virgin births not only for Jesus, but also for his grandmother, suggesting a specific, genetically significant bloodline. Jesus' teachings and miracles could have been seen as attempts to uplift humanity. The idea that he traveled to Egypt, Tibet, and India to study various spiritual traditions before beginning his ministry adds depth to his story. In these regions, he would have encountered ancient mystery schools and learned about reincarnation, spirituality, and healing. This knowledge would later form the basis of his teachings. The concept of reincarnation is central to many ancient texts. It suggested that Jesus was a reincarnation of Thoth, the Atlantean, a figure who claimed to have the ability to incarnate on any plane he desired. Thoth's mission was to rebuild civilization to a high level after a great flood, indicating a cyclical nature of destruction and rebirth. This aligns with the idea of spiritual rebirth. where individuals continuously strive to improve themselves and elevate their consciousness. The connection between ancient terrestrial beings and human spirituality is evident in various texts and artifacts. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth, for example, are believed to be over 36,000 years old and provide insights into advanced knowledge and technologies. These texts describe how Thoth came to Earth after a great flood and helped rebuild civilization, similar to how Jesus aimed to elevate humanity. The influence of the Anunnaki and their advanced knowledge is seen in many cultures. The Lakota tribe, the Dogon people of Africa, and the Aboriginals of Australia all have legends of beings from the stars who imparted wisdom. These stories suggest a common origin and influence from extraterrestrial beings, reinforcing the idea of a shared human heritage influenced by the Anunnaki. Even modern artifacts and symbols bear traces of this ancient influence. For instance, the Subaru logo depicts the Pleiades star cluster, reflecting a widespread recognition of these celestial origins. Ancient texts across the cultures, from the Bible to the Mahabharata, reference the Pleiades, indicating a deep-rooted connection between humanity and these star beings. This exploration into the ancient Anunnaki civilization and their impact on humanity challenges conventional narratives of human history. It invites us to reconsider our origins and the influences that have shaped our civilizations. The Anunnaki's legacy, seen through advanced civilizations like Atlantis and the genetic modification of early humans, suggests a profound and complex relationship between Earth and the stars. As we delve into our past, we uncover the layers of interaction between humans and these ancient beings. This journey into the mysteries of our origins opens up new perspectives on our place in the universe. The story of the Anunnaki is not just a tale of ancient gods, but a narrative of interconnectedness, evolution, and the quest for higher knowledge. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey through ancient history and extraterrestrial influences. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts and theories. Don't forget to turn on notifications to stay updated with our latest content. Until next time, keep exploring the mysteries of our past and the wonders of our cosmos. See you next time.